Hey, 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 back again. Finally, right? It's been too long. I know what you're thinking. Been way too long, and I am excited because we have another book club to do. So let's hop to it. And we're going to do this one a little bit different. So, usually, if you join my book clubs, you know that I do a deck and all this good stuff. But for today or this month, it's just going to be you and me and our book. And of course, I have some notes. So, prepared. But we're just gonna be here together. And I welcome you into this space. I encourage you to take care of yourself. I know for those on this side of the world with me, it's a little bit early, but we got things to do. We got to start the day off. So we have to start the day off talking about books. Rest is Resistance, a manifesto by Tricia Hersey. So this was an interesting read. I had been told about it by a couple of people who were raving and telling, oh, Natasha, as a Black woman, you need to read this. Oh, Natasha, as a overproducer and overthinker, you got to read this. Oh, Natasha, you don't rest enough. Read this book. So y'all, I listened. I understood the assignment. And I picked the book and I brought it to the book club so we could all talk about it. So it's not just a journey for myself, but it is for all of us. So please join me now to have a really fun, engaging conversation around this book. Please watch this on the replay if you are not available right now. And also share this with your friends, your network, people. We spend a lot of time consuming content, but I don't know if we always spend enough time getting it out to the people that we care about. And for you, if rest is something that you struggle with, then I definitely would recommend reading this book. But there are some challenges. I'm not just going to sit here and rave all about it. So we're going to get through it. So first, let's just talk about a summary. So again, Rest is a Resistance, a manifesto by Tricia Hersey is essentially a book breakdown of why the author is arguing that our culture's obsession with productivity is making us sick as human beings. And I think most people would agree with that sentiment. And, it offers some kind of history, some kind of cultural breakdown, especially for those who identify as African American and have roots tied to slavery or all the atrocity that has happened to the Black community in America, but of course, the international scope of challenges that my race adheres to or deals with. So, a lot going on there. But overall, whether you happen to identify as Black, happen to identify as a woman, or anything else, there's a lot that needs to be addressed within our rest routines as human beings. And, if you think you're not resting enough, then pick this book up. Go to dressyourmate.com, pick the book up, and let's get into it. So before we go more into the book, I like to also have quotes of the month. So this quote I found, this is by an unknown person, but the quote is as follows. Books are the perfect companions for those moments when we seek rest for our souls, for within their pages we find solace, escape, and the tranquility our hearts desire. I will read that again. Books are the perfect companions for those moments when we seek rest for our souls, for within their pages we find solace, escape, and the tranquility our hearts desire. What does that mean? It means that a book is more than a book. A book is a space and a place of peace, tranquility, escape, and also inspiration and motivation. So if you also feel like on a daily basis, you wish you had a little bit more me time, a little bit more tranquility, a little bit more space to decompress and get away from the busy routine of your life, highly encourage you pick up a book. And there's no better book to pick up, especially if you're trying to figure out what your rest routine needs to be a little bit more restful in your life, than to start here. So there's that. Now let's get into meet and greet. Instead of talking about all of my accolades, which I'm very grateful and blessed to say I have a lot. Natasha Nurse, blogger, coach, author, podcaster, DEI, HR professional, all of those good things. Those are titles. Let's ask some interesting questions. I feel like that's a more great way to get to know me and for you to have a deeper understanding of who I am and why I do all the different pieces of work and content that I make. So first question on the gate, what's your favorite way to relax and unwind after a long day? Ooh, well, if it's on the weekend, there's definitely an alcoholic beverage involved. And if it's a hard week, that's involved during the week too. But I try to reserve that for the weekend. More so, my best way to relax is reading. I start to get physically ill if I don't read. I know I am that nerd. I am that girl. So that is my number one go-to. Also, I love film and television. So anything within the horror space, anything within drama and romance and romantic comedy, those things like really help to unwind and help me kind of dive into that universe that is presented in that content and just cut away from whatever else life is bothering me with. And what else do I like to do? Sleep, to be honest. I don't necessarily say I sleep enough. So when I can go for those naps and things like that, that's super helpful. I would also say it doesn't relax me, but it makes me feel more stable, which is drinking water. So that for some people that is restful. For me, it like promulgates me to then want to have to pee a lot, which is not super relaxing. But I know that the more water I drink, the better I am taking care of my body, which provides a sense of peace for me there. So there's that. Share a book that you consider a go-to for relaxation and comfort is the next meet and greet question. So, a good book for relaxation and comfort. That's a hard question, actually. So I would say The Secret by Rhonda Byrne is that book is going to, I don't know if it's going to relax you, but it's going to make you think about the importance of the words you think and say in this life and understanding the law of attraction, which may not be relaxing, but it is comforting because you can start to have aha moments as you read through the book around why is this happening in my life and why whenever I keep honing in on this negative thought or this negative process, these outcomes happen. Like there's a sense of comfortability that comes from understanding the why in your life. So I would actually recommend that. I would recommend that book for relaxation. I would recommend it for inspiration, motivation, and also just more understanding. One of the hardest things about being a human being is the fact that we're alive and we just don't have the playbook of what our life could be or quote unquote should be. So whenever you can tap into resources that provide more guidance for you, I think that that's fundamentally important. So there's that. Next question is, why does it have that effect on you? The Secret. Before learning about the law of attraction, I didn't know that you shouldn't go around and say, I hope this doesn't happen. I hope that it doesn't rain. I hope that I don't miss the train. I hope that I don't get a bad grade. Like things like that, that type of rhetoric and language, deeply ineffective. And also what it's doing is it's bridging a gap between the negation of what you want to the reality of what can happen now. So instead, most people, it's very common. People always go to the negation, but really, if you understand the law of attraction, you understand how to get what you want in this world, you go to the affirmation of what you want. So I want a great grade in this class. I want to catch the train and bus on time. I want to buy my car. I want, right? Just affirm the reality that you're trying to achieve instead of coming at it from the negation of what you don't want to happen. So I apologize. There's that. Can you think of a book that had a profound impact on your perspective about rest or self-care? A profound book. So I actually would say, is it Say Yes or Yes by Shonda Rhimes? Say Yes. I think a year of Yes. I think that's what that's called. Yeah. And I found that book to be deeply impactful around, if you think about how many times you're saying no and you think about how many times you're saying yes, you may surprise yourself to to realize that you actually are saying more no's than yeses. And sometimes that's necessary, right? Because people try to command and demand your time and try to make you do things, or try to pull your attention away from things that maybe you don't want to put your attention into. So absolutely put up your boundaries, put up those walls. No, no, no. I don't care what the question is. But we also have to be mindful around jumping to a space of no for things that we aren't maybe sure about or uncomfortable about, because that space may be leading to an opportunity. And before we get to a no, let's try to say yes. So I would say that has been very impactful for me, because I typically, so for instance, I'm a person who, I'm a remote worker. I get to work from home. I love being in my home. My office is my bliss station. Like, I have set it up where it's organized chaos. I have art everywhere. I have my books everywhere. I have my movies everywhere. Makes me very happy, makes me very comfortable. It's just like, ooh, like it's a physical manifestation of a blankie. I like my office. I like my home. If people are like, hey, Tosh, come outside to do this, automatically, because I'm such a homebody, in my mind, I have been conditioned to be like, I'm okay. So I have to purposely jump to a space of like, wait, Natasha, do not say no yet. And think about the opportunity, and think about even if it's not apparent, like what the benefits could be, just trying to get to a space of yes first. So there's that. Do you have any specific reading rituals or habits that enhance your relaxation experience? So yes, I've been actively now for the past couple of weeks not going to bed with the TV on. And that's been hard, because that was like a narrative from childhood that I had tapped into. And like 30 minutes before bed, shutting off the TV and reading. And I'm currently in the middle of the After series, amongst all the other books that I'm reading. I read a lot of different books, y'all. Of course, I am that girl. And that's just like a really fun book to read before bed. Those books, because I'm on book number 3 of the After series, and it is tantalizing and sensual, and it's just like, it's a really interesting type of genre to read before bed. It kind of gets your heart going, and you have to drink a little bit of water. Ooh, careful, drink some water. And so much fun. It's so much fun. Oh, I think we have some comments. Let's see. Okay, so Woken Free is tapped in. Thank you, Khalil. I appreciate you. And so that's one thing I would recommend. If you're not necessarily having the most restful sleep when you do get to bed, turn off the TV at least 30 minutes before you're going to bed. Open up a book, open up a Kindle, read. It gets your body into a different state. It gets your mind into a calmer place. Read a book. Read a book, y'all. All right, so let's go into different sections of the book now, because I think that that's going to be most meaningful for us for you to understand why you should pick up the book or not, but then also for me to share just my thoughts. So overall, like, do I like it? It's on the Dressing Room Mate recommendations page. Yes, I do like it, but it's like a 3 out of 5 stars for me. It is not a 5 out of 5 for a couple of reasons. First, I found the content to be a little bit repetitive, in that, okay, after like the first 3 chapters, you understand historically what are some of the reasons why rest can be particularly hard culturally for Black people and Black women, but then also just as a whole society, how rest isn't appreciated and promoted the same way that culture promotes grind and work hard and do it to the bone kind of thing. Then also, my biggest nick against the book is that it wasn't a practical guide on how you are going to read this book and then reading it know how to implement peace and rest in your life. And she says that, and the author says this is not that kind of a book. This book is to talk through kind of the theory, the understanding, the cultural connections, and tragedy that is our lives regarding not having enough rest, but it is not a how-to guide on how you will now implement more rest. And I appreciate that she acknowledged that, but I also think that was a missed opportunity, because people need guidance, right? It's not enough to teach somebody the content or the information. People need the information and then the know-how, the steps, the practical steps to say, okay, hey, I'm a mom of 5. I have 2 jobs. How am I supposed to rest more? Hey, I'm a truck driver. I drive all night. How am I supposed to rest more? Hey, I'm a doctor. I work 72 hours like straight, right? How do I rest more? Like, it's the people in the situations in their life who may want more rest, but practically are struggling to understand how do they implement that in their calendar? How do they say no when they need to say no so that they can have the space for themselves? So that's just my thought. I get that that's not what this book was about, but I just think for a powerful title and a powerful movement that this author is also the founder of the NAP ministry. So this is what she's about. Like, this is her jam, right? So rest, rest, rest. You better get your rest. Okay, what does that really mean for people? So maybe that's another book that she's going to come out with. We'll see. But let's get into some sections. So when you first open up the book, you get to past the dedication page, past the contents page, and you get to this, which is like a short, I love also, I'm a poet, and of course I am, right? Like all the things I do. And she has the following: your body is a site of liberation. It doesn't belong to capitalism. Love your body, rest your body, move your body, hold your body. Body, body, body. I like it. I'm also Jamaican, so when things start to rhyme, I'm like, wind up, wind up, wind up. Trying to get me amped up. All right. And then you turn the page, and then she says, I hope you're reading this while lying down. So when I opened this page, I immediately cracked up laughing, because how was I reading this book, y'all? Laying down. The book is called Rest is Resistance. So I thought it was only appropriate to be reading it while laying down. So just saying, do you need to read the book laying down? Absolutely not. Read the book how you want to read it. But for me, I just felt it was most on theme to read a book about rest while resting. So there's that. Now, we'll get into some language in the book as well. On page 7, she says the following: our collective rest will not be easy. All of culture is collaborating for us not to rest. I understand this deeply. We are sleep deprived because the systems view us as machines, but bodies are not machines. Our bodies are a site of liberation. We are divine, and our rest is divine. There is synergy, interconnectedness, and deep communal healing within our rest movement. I believe rest, sleep, naps, daydreaming, and slowing down can help us all wake up to see the truth of ourselves. Rest is a healing portal to our deepest selves. Rest is care. Rest is radical. We must stand and lay firmly in the space of creating a life filled with rest and radical care, even amid oppression. Rest is resistance is our tagline and mantra. Our call. Rest is a form of resistance because it disrupts and pushes back against capitalism and white supremacy. Both these toxic systems refuse to see the inherent divinity in human beings and have used bodies as a tool for production, evil, and destruction for centuries. Grind culture has made us all human machines, willing and ready to donate our lives to a capitalist system that thrives by placing profits over people. The Rest is Resistance movement is a connection and a path back to our true nature. We are stripped down to who we really were before the terror of capitalism and white supremacy. We are enough. We are divine. So like I said, she's not messing around. When you pick up the book, you're, oh, okay. Like she's clearly making her point, and she's clearly being quite serious around just how culturally, systematically destructive our culture is against self-care, right? Because rest is a part of self-care. It's not the only part, but it's a big part of self-care. And if we live in a society that is designed to prevent you from actually achieving your rest, well, then aren't we then saying we live in a society designed to not care for human beings in the best way it can be? Well, yes, right? And then that systematically connects to the breakdowns within our governmental system, within our healthcare system, within our mental health care system, right? It's all tied together. And this is just one piece of the puzzle that really needs attention. And so you as an individual human being can do something about it, right? This is not something where you're like, oh, I got my comments. Okay. This is not something that you can say, oh, well, yeah, I don't rest enough and that's that, right? But that you can actually take a step back, and then say, okay, enough is enough. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, where you are in your life, in your career. You can change the narrative. You can change the page, and you flip the page and you can say, no, enough is enough. So that's where this book, I think, will be helpful for giving you the gusto and the fire to be like, oh, yes, like I plan to join the Rest is Resistant movement and do something about it, right? So tenets of the NAP ministry, because remember, she's the founder of that. So and you can look her up and learn more about what that is all about, but here are the tenets. 1, rest is a form of resistance because it disrupts and pushes back against capitalism and white supremacy. Our bodies are a site of liberation. Naps provide a portal to imagination, imagine, invent, and heal. Our dream space has been stolen and we want it back. We reclaim it via rest. You see a little bit of the repetitiveness there? Yeah. So, just putting it out there. All right. So on page 45, she has a call to action, which I think we should make time to read out. All right. And if I didn't say it before, but if you have the book, definitely feel free to follow along with me. All right. A call to action for rest now. I want you to firmly plant yourself inside your imagination. Take refuge in the beauty and power of our community care. Take root in our daydreaming. We can rest, build, and usher in a new way. We center rest and care no matter what the systems say. Rest is a portal. Silence is our pillow. Hold silence with me now. Take a deep, full breath. Hold for 4 seconds. Release the shame you feel when resting. It does not belong to you. I really appreciated that because I would say within the Caribbean narrative that I grew up as well, that there was an emphasis of productivity, rest. You have to do right. You know, we came here for you to have everything, do, right? But a part of doing, a part of productivity, a part of success is how you care for yourself, how you rest your mind, body, and soul. It is not separately exclusive from each other. For you to be successful in your life, you have to take care of your body for your life. It's like absolutely tethered, 1,000% tethered. But people culturally sometimes have issues with that. Societally, we're having issues with that. So this is a wonderful piece of literature for you to stop the madness, stop the destruction that is within our lives in our society, and say, okay, wait a minute, we have to do something a little bit different. To be a little bit different. So, we'll keep it moving. So pages 101 to 102 is another kind of breakdown of a poem that I thought, again, like I said, I'm a poet, so I love when books and authors put in some poetry. I'm like, yes, it's like ministry really, and it's Sunday, so you're welcome. Rest is real life conversations. I don't know any other way to go. Rest is the roadmap, the guiding force, a truth teller. Rest is a meeting with self with a typed agenda. Rest is on your knees, whispering words silently. On the right side of the bed, rest is lunchtime dreaming, the energy of the Rastafarian who showed me how to pray standing up with my eyes open, hands stretched wide, because how you see and know when prayers are answered. Rest is holy oil from my mama's wooden dresser, Papayan olive oil, the fancy kind in glass, blessed by the elders, poured over our heads as we rebuke the devil. Rest is the laying on of hands, a force field all around you. Rest is a dream made real, a portal, an honest place, a trusting place, a sacred refuge, a dissertation length longing. Rest works, rest dreams, infinite power moving, care surrounding us. Rest is a gift and an antenna, an ancient call dangling on the tips of tongues from a head lightly connected on a silk pillow. Rest is holding us close. Rest is home. I'll tell you, there were some really, really beautiful portions of the book, just like the one I read. And I appreciated it. I thought that was a magical part for sure. So if you're looking for a protest tool, which I really liked some of her, like, how do I call this? I guess maybe it's like branding, like the little kind of this is this and this is that, the name, the nomenclature that you use. So I had never heard of like a protest kit. So this is a protest kit. More love, more care, more therapy, more dreams, more daydreaming, more dream space, more meditation, more love, more calls to say, how are you feeling? More love letters. Oof. More bedtime stories. Yes. More strength to love, more naps, more rest, more sleep, more care. Place us in a dream trance. That's on page 124 if you end up getting the book. But that, a protest kit, I was like, yes, 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 yes. Okay. And then we do have to wrap up because I know y'all have lives to live, and so do I. You know, I have 1,000 things to do. So let's get to it. So, how do you prepare your spirit and body for a nap? She begins on page 149. So there's a couple of things she mentions here. One, we cannot wait for the perfect space or opportunity to rest. Rest now, right? And I appreciated that tip because that is a number one excuse that I heard growing up and throughout life, right? Most people, when you tell them, oh, I need to rest, what's their counter? I don't have time. Well, good for you. Do you want to die? So it's now or never. Now or never. Just do it. Number two, we must believe we are worthy of rest. That part. Worth. Are you worthy of self-care? Some people may verbalize yes, but their actions show otherwise. So think about that. Then another one, I'm going to skip just around so you can see. Productivity should not look like exhaustion. I'm going to read that one again. Productivity should not look like exhaustion. Exactly. Working hard, achieving goals does not mean you have to destroy yourself. It doesn't mean that. So until we get that, until we get this in the noggin, we are going to continue to essentially self-harm because yes, you want to get stuff done. Yes, you have goals. Yes, they all matter. Your dreams matter 1,000%, but you do not have to destroy yourself in the process. You've got to find a way to work towards the goal while taking care of yourself. And then also she mentions here, grind culture is violence. Resist participating in it. This must be flexible. So please also resist the desire to become rigid. I've gone months consistently experimenting with a rest practice daily or weekly. The next week, I'm caught up in an all-nighter to finish a deadline. We are moving in and out of worlds all the time. So give beautiful grace to yourself. Start again on rest. Keep going back to rest. Stay in the dream space. I love that because, for instance, even with me, like I was struggling with some of my exercise routines because I wasn't feeling well. And then it kind of threw off the schedule. And then when you don't have grace for yourself, you feel defeated and you feel like just giving the whole thing up. And it's like, no, okay, maybe you're having a bad day. Okay. Maybe you're having a bad week. Okay. Right. It doesn't mean that this is the end, that you've failed, that you can't start again. You can start afresh every moment after another. Like, it's okay. It's okay to stumble. It's okay to struggle. It's okay. Right. So just think through that. So again, if any of that content was compelling for you, here you go. Rest is Resistance. Get the book at dressingroom8.com. I really would appreciate that. It's going to take you to Amazon. You can decide if you want the audiobook, if you want the hardcover like this, if you want the paperback. And it's not that long of a read. I mean, granted, I do implore fast reading. So I can get through books in 2 hours. But, even if you take your time a little bit and you read it restfully and peacefully, you'll be able to get through this in a week or less, probably 2 days. So enjoy, get the book. Now, a couple of things also to think through. I want you to ask yourself, what's your rest routine look like? Are you happy with it? Do you want to make changes? Why do you want to make changes? And are you willing to make the changes? And do you believe you're worthy of these changes? Right? Some things to think about after. Now, if you really enjoyed this book club, which, hello, you had Tasha, let's go. Always more fun to be had with me. Please come back next month. We're going to be reading the book that promulgated the whole obsession with Bridgertons on Netflix, which is the first book, The Duke and I. So if you have not read the Bridgerton series and you have not read book one, or even if you have read it and you're looking to have a good conversation with moi, I welcome you. I'm excited to have you join me. So please, please, please do that. And let me show you this. Also, make sure to subscribe to the blog and newsletter. That way you're aware of all the stuff happening at dressroommate.com. And I appreciate you. And we have like less than a minute to go. So I did my thing, y'all. This was fun. Book club complete for September. Have a great, wonderful day. And you know what you need to do. Get some rest today. All right. I'll talk to y'all very soon. Bye.